I'm MC Toon, and it's Tuesday night. Tonight is scheduled a debate with the great Egyptian god Ra Thoth. Apparently he's both Ra and Thoth. But the great god Ra Thoth had a schedule conflict with his girlfriend. Or his hair is not right, it needs to be cut. Or his background isn't right, or he needs to buy some more gold chains. All these are all excuses he gave me for not being here tonight. So a kind of a letdown that the great Egyptian god Ra Thoth couldn't be here. He said he only needed 8 minutes to destroy the globe somehow. But so what I'm going to do, I've got King Crew in the house here. How you doing, King Crew?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you. And don't worry. I've got we're going to review something here and see what else we have. But there is another flat Earth debate discussion coming up in 2 hours with Chris. Oh, I don't want to get it wrong. Chris Curtis or Curtis Chris. That will be in about 2 hours, just under 2 hours. And I'm pretty sure he will be here. I spoke with him today. Actually, we did a little test, so I think that'll work. Karam wants Mallory.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Let's see. Max says that Ra Thoth is with his mummy. Oh, there we go. Well, I won't spoil, just in case he does get permission from his girlfriend in the future. I won't spoil all of the many things that he was going to somehow show us as, I don't know.
I was looking forward to it too.
I was too. He canceled last week too, a couple days out. For many of the same reasons. He says he wants to look more professional, and then today he's like, in 50 years, I want to be able to look back and at this day when I crushed the globe. Like, you go, girl.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
Max says he's running a pyramid scheme. He is full of the puns tonight. Awesome. So, King Crew, you want to introduce yourself a little?
Just King Crew, been a big fan for a while. Happy to be on here. You can also catch me on AT2 Productions stream, kicking it with other veterans.
Yeah.
Just here to have a good time.
Excellent. Well, I do have I found a plenty crazy video from some guys in England. It's always them in England, isn't it? And they're not even awake to defend themselves. Guy named Luke Thompson. I'll show you here. This is his Facebook page, and this is the video I'm going to be looking at. I downloaded it. It'll be bigger. So they are in Manchester, I think, and they're looking at some things, and they have lots to say about 5G, because apparently they think they're very, very expert in 5G. It won't surprise you to find out that they're not. So,
but of course. I mean, their soccer team sucks. What else do they have to do?
I don't soccer. So, Pancake of Destiny. Why do I drink from a jar? I drink from a jar for a couple reasons. Anything that's made of glass in this house, with all the kids that we have running around, breaks. So a used jar, we have lots of used jars, and if they break, who cares, right? I'll just throw it away. I got more. So our glass beverage containers, a lot of them broke. Now we did buy some nice thick ones that are harder to break. But then also there's another one. It's large, so I can put an entire tray of ice in there with some soft drink. This is Zevia, sugar free. And then the number one reason I do this is because it triggers 33 UC. He thinks it's a Mason jar. It's actually not Mason brand. It's Bell brand. But yeah, it triggers him. He thinks it's some sort of a Freemason symbolism. So there you go. For you.
I know it. I freaking know it.
If I can give you some I don't know what any of those mean. They mean nothing to me, but they mean a lot to 33.
I don't know why 33 loves you so much. He comes on every stream saying the same thing over and over again.
He wants to come on. You typically, what he'll do is he comes on, he gets blocked. We play whack-a-troll with him, and then he'll message me on Twitter complaining about my show and that I need him, he says, to save my show because because somehow he is such a good guest, and so he's like
the best.
Oh, that's right. He says he's like the fourth most watched video of mine. But it's not, for a couple reasons. Number one, there was a show that he was on that for a while was the fourth most watched video, but it was Red's Rhetoric, FTFE, Russian Vids, myself, and 33 was on a little bit. But it wasn't 33, it was these other people. But that video is like number 10 now, anyway. So.
Oh yeah, he's a big deal apparently.
He thinks he's a big deal. A lot of these people, they think they're a big deal in their own head. So I'm going to play this. You tell me if you hear it.
Going on, dudes, here we are.
Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we will hear what's his name? Luke Thompson, who is apparently very, very expert in 5G.
And here we have the 5G. It's supposed to be 0.5 safe level, yeah? And that's like 200.
200 what? Don't know.
Fucking hell, look at that, man. 300. Thank you. Not safe at all.
597 somethings. Don't know what those somethings are, but there's 597.
Oh.
It actually says 5G on the card.
Yeah, it says 5G. Look at it. Look at it.
So this is the cable. Look how thick that cable is. They say it actually says 5G on the cable. I can't see what it says on the cable. But
it's fucking poison.
Then why do they have it going down a stairway?
So what we're looking at here, guys, is an EMF reader, and this reads the radio waves that are going
I can
through.
feel it. I can literally feel it in my brain, mate. I can literally feel it.
So it's really
there's something he's feeling in his brain.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I so you know, I looked up this meter. I'll show you that in a little bit.
through the roof. So you got to bear in mind, guys, that this is going to be installed, which is already installed on your kids' schools and next to your homes.
Not true. It's installed all over the place, not just in the schools. Actually, it's probably not installed really in any schools. Why would they install a cell phone network in the school? Who cares? You might have it outside the school, right? Like why
again,
is
it is Manchester, so there's that.
These people are everywhere there. When the lockdown first started, people were driving up to schools and they're like, hey, people are installing stuff in schools. Like, so how do you know what it is that they're installing? They had no idea, but whatever it was, it must be bad.
Damn right, it's weaponized.
Yeah. DKG Custom, is that just a power cable? How dare you think that something like that would just be a power cable? Oh. You're giving away the secret, man.
5G towers. So what this does...
It's supposed to be 0.5, yeah? So you take it off.
It should be fucking nothing. Shouldn't use it.
It should be the 0.5 there. That's the safe, yeah?
0.5 what? And where are these geniuses getting the idea for what is and is not safe?
I'm gonna say they're butts.
And when he pulls it 6 inches away, it goes to 0. Oh dear. So whatever it is, it doesn't have a very big range.
0.5, yeah. Closer we get. Hey.
Oh my gosh. This guy. What is this? All right, people in the chat. Is this a Manchester look?
Oh,
What in the world is this hat with a little ball on top? Oh my goodness. Okay, I got to read this from Alyssa. It says, Nerd Roll Call, what's the best laser gun sound? Pew pew or fzt, fzt. Number 1 for pew pew and 2 for fist fist, I guess.
wouldn't the second one be a laser gun? So that would be better.
Well, it'd be a best laser gun sound. Yeah, but isn't the Star Wars sounds pew pew pew?
True.
Yeah. So all right, here we go. Ones, lots of ones. There's just a couple twos.
Yeah, but they're not modified camera people. So they don't know.
I don't know. Spice Hedge says MC Tune, it's a piss take out of Scottish people.
That is a Scottish hat. That's true.
Why Kikamuka says people from Manchester are known for taking a lot of nonsense. Great music scene though. Okay. All right. Well, clearly pew pew is the best laser sound. Thank you, Nerd Roll Call. I did not watch enough of this video to see this guy's what he looks like. Oh, jeez.
How's it going? Look at this shit, man. That is fucking toxic. Absolutely toxic.
How do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's supposed to be 0.5.
read up, guys, on Google. 0.5 is what the legal limit should be. So,
All right. So that meter is an E2470 meter right here. This is the meter. It is an electromagnetic field radiation EMF detector. It reads in milligauss and microtesla. So that is a measure of magnetic field strength. That is not typically what they use to measure. That's not what they use to measure cell phone frequencies, because the cell phones, the magnetic field regulations only go up to frequencies that are less than cell phone frequencies. So that meter cannot read the things that you must read if you're going to read a cell phone, because it's the wrong units. But it gets worse than that.
Oh, no.
It gets worse than that. So I'll tell you, cell phone networks are about 500 megahertz is the lowest frequency. Most is about 900 megahertz to about 2 gigahertz. And then you start to drop off in popularity as you get towards 4 gigahertz. There's some that are 6 gigahertz, but it's not really great because it has problems with penetration. And the newest 5G, which right now is only in the US, maybe a couple other places, is either 24 gigahertz or 40 gigahertz. Now this meter doesn't read 40 gigahertz. It doesn't read that high. It only it reads up to 300 hertz. Hertz, not megahertz, hertz. This thing is that's not kilohertz, right? It's hertz, kilohertz, megahertz. It's not 1,000 times too small. It's 1,000,000 times too low of a frequency range. 1,000,000 times too low of a frequency range for this thing. These geniuses don't even know what kind of meter they have.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. It's accuracy plus or minus 5%, which is a pretty big range. Microtesla to 5 microtesla, 200 microtesla at 50 hertz or 60 hertz. This is specifically designed to read mains power in your house or in a building. That's what it's for. And so this a DKG Custom, when he said, is that a power cable? I don't know what it is, but it sure looks like a power cable. And that would make perfect sense that this meter is reading a power cable. Oh, these idiots. They're so stupid. Luke Thompson. Oh, hold on. Right here. Luke Thompson, I challenge you to debate on 5G. I can't believe how terrible you are and how little you understand. You should step up. You should totally step up and try to talk to me about 5G, Luke Thompson. I bet you can't. I bet you'll run away. I bet you're scared. Oh,
I bet he's got no balls.
Yep.
5G took him.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so yeah, so there it is. It's a an alarm threshold, 40 milligauss, which is 0.4 microtesla. So just so you know, Gauss and Tesla are both units of magnetic field strength. Tesla is the base unit, but a Tesla is a very, very large quantity of magnetic field. So it's so large that you often don't get anything in that range. So they decided to use an additional unit called Gauss, which is, I get it wrong. I think it's 1,000 Gauss to a Tesla, but I could be wrong. It could be 10,000. I'm sure somebody will correct me. But the point is, a Gauss is the more common one. But either way, they're a magnetic field strength, which is perfectly normal for a power cord. So there you go. I don't know. Let's see if they have any other genius things here to say here.
So let's go find some bees. Check down here with it. So if we look around here first to see if there's any immediate, because that is quite strong. But they are dropping as you sort of speak.
Absolutely.
So you'll find them still with their pollen sacs attached to their legs, which means they were clearly on the way home, all right, and then suddenly they got fucking slapped in the face by some radio waves, dropped on their arse.
Slapped in the face by radio waves.
Of course.
You know, and now they're just dying. Because what happens, bro, if you pick them up when they're live, if you pick them up, walk them away over there, they fly off and do their thing.
All right, get them out the frequency and the fucking, yeah, they're all right. Yeah, they get trapped.
So all around here, if you imagine, that's I was thinking there's like a centre mass in the middle.
Feel it, yeah, can you not feel that? Like,
mate, I felt it. We went to the shop earlier and it felt like it just come out of a nightclub.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like, wee, no, you're fucking, yeah. It's like a ringing in my ears, man, dude.
Clive Wells.
Yeah, so guys,
maybe an email hit them. The guy on a year ago.
In the brain.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Maybe an email hit them. That's from Kariki, a guy about a year ago, and he actually wears tinfoil hats out in public to protect him from the 5G, I guess.
All those 5G emails. Yeah.
Oh, and he's like, maybe the fire was started in this house because two emails collided in air. Oh, I like him, but oh, he was so silly. Anyway, it turns out in double-blind studies, nobody can feel an electromagnetic field that's not really strong, right? If it's really strong, you'll feel the heating, right? You'll get hot from it. But if it's not high power, you don't feel it. Nobody can feel it. So they'll do double blind where the people being tested who say, I am electrosensitive. They'll put them in a room. They'll put in the room with them a person to go flip a switch, right? The person flipping the switch has no idea what's going on. They flip a switch, they leave the room, but the switch doesn't actually do anything, right? So that's just a sham. The actual people outside that aren't interacting with the test patient at all, they're the ones that turn on and off the electrical field. And they will leave it off when the technician flips the switch on, and the person in the room who's like, I'm electrosensitive, will be like, oh, I feel it. But there's no field. The field didn't turn on. Or they'll do the opposite. They will send in the technician and not have them flip the switch, but they will turn on the electromagnetic field, and the person's like, oh, I don't feel it at all. There's actually a couple studies. I think I have 3 or 4 of them on my website. If you go to mc2.net/5G, you'll find it linked off of there. If you're interested in looking at how they did these testing, there is no such thing as electrosensitivity. It is a psychological condition, not a physiological condition.
So you might say they're full of doo-doo.
They are full of doo-doo. What did Lol Cow University says stalker alert? What are you talking about here, Lol Cow University? Hold on. You want to ruin it? No, thank you, CP. I don't know. Lol Cow, what are you talking? What are you doing here? Calm down. I've got, oh dear, I got
we got a Rocha in the house.
Oh, good old Rocha. We've got
Hey, where's Rocha?
David Oliver says, I love you, MC2. Thank you, David Oliver. You make me laugh with it hurts.
It's true.
It spells hurts, H-E-R-T-Z. Delcos Man says, how did they get out there without their copper vests? Absolutely. And then, oh dear, this looks a little French. I'm gonna give it a shot. King Crew, can you help me if I get it wrong? It says Les Garces des Science.
The gas, the science.
Is that how you say it in French? Science? Science?
Science.
Says, hey, how are you at MC Tune? I'm great for Les Garces des Science. I'm great. It's a good night. Too bad Goofball Ra Thoth is a no-show. He wants to get himself ready. I don't know. I can't rely on him now. He's got to be like a second string like guy. So where was I? Okay, so this guy here. I should do a little more. See what he was talking about. Yeah, his buddy's like, you can feel it in your head, and it's just an electrical cable, we think. So
that he feels in his brain. For sure.
In his brain. Yeah, something's in his brain. It's the guy with the hat. With the hat.
I love that hat.
Oh, where'd he go? Let's get it. And why vertical? Come on, don't do vertical video.
See in the film, yeah, they're all right. Yeah, they
You
get
expect
trapped.
him not to
all
be
around it,
vertical?
if you
There it is. You can just see it on the edge.
imagine that's always thinking there's like a centre mass in the middle.
Feel it in the egg. Can you not feel that? Like,
Mate, I felt it. We went to the shop earlier and it felt like it just come out of a nightclub. As soon as I got
yeah,
out
that's
of
what it
there-
feels like. It feels like, wee, no, you're fucking, yeah. It's like a ringing in my ears, man, dude.
Yeah, so guys, all this shit is getting rolled out and in
Oh dear. Somebody timed out Dr. No. What is going on?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Oh, Dr. No says that I'm a closet flat earther. Well, I didn't know that. That's news to me. He keeps saying it over and over again. Dr. No, spelled K-N-O-W. I'm not, because the sun could never set. David for $3.99 says, I guess Ra was just bright enough to run away. Yes.
Indeed.
And then Indie Tiger for $50. Wow, thank you very much, Indie Tiger. Says, I looked up NASA inventions last week and spouted off a few. But I just read the headline, not the body of the text, and NASA didn't invent those things. They just contributed in some way to the invention. So I apologize, everyone. Thank you for the apology, Indie Tiger. It was, if you remember, it was to Mallory who thinks that, as a Canadian, Mallory thinks that NASA steals from her somehow.
Of course they do.
Because she's Canadian. And Indie Tiger had posted a list of things to ask, because NASA had it, and it was phrased as NASA had invented them, but more appropriately, it was NASA had contributed to them. And that's probably correct for everything that NASA kind of, gets credit for. It's probably more they had a part in it than they did it themselves. They do a lot of the things that they do through contractors. So they go to a contractor and say, we got to solve this problem. And that contractor creates an invention like Velcro or something. And did NASA totally invent that? No, but NASA was involved in it, and it came about because of NASA. So that's a good thing. So there you go. Thank you, Indy Tiger, for that. And let's see, David Olive.
For everyone else who's in the know, NASA is behind everything.
Of course.
Mhm.
Oh, if you look on Facebook and some of these groups, these nutty flat earthers, they just can't not say NASA. And we don't need NASA to know that the sun could never set if the earth were flat. That's the end of it. It's really, if I'm ever like, I just want to do a debate quick and just end it, I'll say the sun could never set. The end. The perspective. Oh, well, good. Perspective. Tell me how far away the sun will be when it will appear to set at full size. Never. They never have an answer. Like, oh, well, math is fake.
Of course.
David Oliver for £5 says, I watched 1917 today. It was a good film. Gave me lumps in my throat. 1917. I don't remember that.
Uh-huh.
I don't. Well, people, that is a David Oliver says he likes it. So there you go. If you think that David Oliver has good taste in films, you may want to see 1917.
Captain Caveman's got a question for you, Mattoon.
Captain Caveman. Oh, did I learn the definition of level? Of course I did. It is a curved surface, conforming to the liquid portions of the surface of the earth. I have about 45 definitions of level on my website, mctoon.net/level. So there you go. Pancake of Destiny. I see a rocket in the background right there. That is the Apollo 5 Lego rocket. And I have a video of me assembling it on my channel here. It's just it's a time lapse sped up with the camera over the top of the table as I assemble the rocket. And I have right down there, you can't, it's just off camera, I have the NASA Discovery Shuttle Lego version that I'm going to be doing sometime here. So let's see. Legars de Science says for 5 Canadian, out of subject here, but I'm still pressuring Dave Weiss on Twitter so he come and debate you at some point, even if we both know he'll dodge. Yes. David Weiss, you look, that's he goes by David Weiss, his name is David Weiss, but he goes by Dearth, deep inside Rabbit the Hole, on for his YouTube channel. And he is constantly begging people to invite him on for an interview where he presents his flat earth BS. And I have several of them. I've watched several. It's the same thing every time. He has a script that he does, and that's it. One script, and it's the same thing. And it is Flurf 101. It is stuff like, well, the airplanes from this southern hemisphere town to this southern hemisphere town, I found a connecting flight that goes north and comes back, and it looks a certain way on the flat earth map, completely ignoring that there's a direct flight between the two, and it never leaves the southern hemisphere. It totally fails on the map that he says is the correct map. So it's all this super basic stuff, and basically Dearth is begging people to download his Flat Earth app and pay him $5 a month. That's why he's doing it.
App?
He has an app. It's the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Zodiac Clock. And it's completely wrong. It uses the AE map. The angles, the AE map is trivially wrong. The angles of sunrise and sunset are wrong. Southern hemisphere flights are wrong. I mean, the sun would never set. So you got that. So anyway, yeah, if you find me on Twitter, MCToon27 is mine on Twitter, and I've been kind of poking at him because he's commenting on Twitter to these people saying you should invite me on. And so I'm in there saying, hey, I'll invite you on my podcast, David Weiss. Come on here, David Weiss. Come on, David Weiss. Let's see you step up to talk to MC Toon here. Are you scared? What's wrong? You got some problems there, getting a little bit courage down in the panties area there. You got nothing, David Weiss?
Got nothing.
Is that it? Because there was somebody on Facebook who's like, you guys should debate David Weiss. Like, I challenge him all the time. The guy's a chicken. It's like, oh, prove it. Like, he deletes my comments. That's how bold he is. Or they'd be like, you should debate ODD TV or Eric Dubay. Like, they're chicken too. I've challenged all them. So there you go.
I didn't realize ODT was still a thing. I thought he disappeared.
He was in that new that silly comedy fantasy documentary thing. So
Check that out.
Karam says, I'll be honest, I like and respect Bob Nodell, but there's something about that Dearth guy that creeps me out of hell off me. Yeah, absolutely. He's yep. I'll go with you there. I have zero respect for Bob Nodell. Bob Nodell is anti-science. He got his hands on a tool that measures rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Not with the goal of testing a hypothesis, but with the goal of proving something. And when that proof was proven the other direction, he rejected it. That's not science. That's anti-science or science denialism. So I have zero respect for Bob Nodell. He's the worst of them because he's like him and just a couple others. They're like the peak of the Papa Flurf pyramid.
Yeah, no, he's a piece of work. I
Yeah.
mean, he was there when it happened. In that what was it? Beyond the Curve
Yeah.
documentary doing that, trying to cover it up. And then he was seen on screen saying, "Hey, we can't tell anybody else about this because it wouldn't look good."
Yeah, it wouldn't look good.
It worked. Unbelievable.
Punchy says, bring on Lal Cow. He's a big S hit talker.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say apparently.
All right. Tell you what, Lal Cow University, send me an email. You can come on, mctune@mctune.net. Alyssum did a $2 Australian super chat, but no message. So thank you for that, Alyssum.
Yeah, that's fake money. You all know that.
It's Australian. So Bob Nodell, thanks Bob for measuring the rotation of the Earth. Now I've challenged Bob to debate. You know what he does? He blocks me. He's so brave. So brave.
He has the balls to get somebody else to pay 20 grand for a gyroscope, then doesn't have the balls to admit when he's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, what a piece of work.
Yeah, and it would be bad news. You're right.
Yeah.
It's bad news. So let's see if Lal Cow whatever has no. Big talking Lal Cow has not
You mean
sent me an
Lal
email
Cow's
yet.
got no balls either? Come on. One of them has to have a pair of balls.
It's a cow, not a bull, I guess. So there you go. Oh, Alyssum says there was a message. It was, can you do a flip? I can do a flip. I'm pretty good at doing flips, actually. You might not realize it, but here's what you do. I'll do it at a pool, right? And I'll get on the diving board and I'll jump. And then when I land in the water, I'll do a flip. So there you go. I mean, it's not much to look at, but I can do a flip as long as I'm underwater. Does that count?
I believe it.
Is that what you meant, Alyssa? Because I can do a double. If I can hold my breath long enough, I can do a double.
You can't do a triple? I'm disappointed.
Brian Leake. Brian Leake says you want a rematch. He sent me an email. Apparently Brian Leake. Well, I'm up. King Crew, what do you think? Are you ready to hear some Brian Leake? Do you know who he is? King Crew? Anything?
No, can you hear me?
There. No, yeah. It's
Okay.
cut out for a second, I guess. So, All right. Well,
Sorry.
I'm sending.
Yeah, I have no idea who he is.
Oh, well, you'll find out soon. Truth Nerds says, what are lol cows good for? Nothing. You could turn them into hamburgers, but the meat would taste funny. Absolutely. Oh.
Ay,
So all right, well, let me prepare the meeting here for Brian Leake to show up. So let's see here. I got that. So King Crew, this is showing your name. Do you want that to show? You know what? I will just change it. I'll change your name.
Thank you.
That's let's see. Rename King Crew.
That's why you're the man.
There it is. I will I think Brian is usually on screen, so I think I'll have that ready to go when he comes. So
All right.
yeah, I don't know. It's Leake. Do you pronounce the E or not? I don't know. So all right, so the link has been sent to Brian. So we shall see here. Punchy needs to go to bed.
Oh, Punchy.
It's 8:30. He must have to work. He must have to work early. It's tough. Now you just need more caffeine, man.
Work is for the weak, Punchy.
Max Mac says pronounced leak. So there we go. Ooh, Punchy needs to get up at 4 a.m.
Damn. All right. Well, yeah.
People, 4 a.m. is not a get up time. 4 a.m. is a go to bed time. What are you talking about, Punchy? Man. All right. So do we have nothing yet from Brian? And at Lalcow,
He's still yapping his mouth.
is he? Well, Lalcow, you can send me an email too. That sounds like quite the dumpster fire. Oh, Punchy says, "Love you all except you for you, Lalcow University." Oh,
very Canadian like.
Pancake of Destiny says, "I won't go to bed at 4 a.m. because of your stream. Thank you." Oh, Karam says it is 4 a.m. where he is, he or she. So, man, this international thing is crazy. It's crazy. Last week I asked people where they were from, and let's do this again. What country are you from, people? Just put it in the chat. While you do that, Alyssa had another chat, but there's no message again. So what was the message? Was it about a flip again? Or is it a half pike? Or a half pike with a twist? I don't know. All right. Canada, USA, Wales, UK, Los Angeles, Germany, Australia, Alaska, Oregon, Israel. There we go. England, Germany, UK, the Netherlands from Pancake of Destiny.
Oh yeah.
I said what country, and Gareth Bunting says Scotland. I'm not. Is that a country? Is the UK the country? Is it
technically? Yeah, it's the country.
I don't know.
It's part of the UK.
Yes, but is it appropriate when you say what country are you in to answer with Scotland?
Yes. Scotland and Wales would be their own separate countries.
Okay. Maybe we'll.
That's why we have Brexit happening.
Well, no, but they're trying to leave the EU. Yeah. Okay, so David says Scotland is the nation. So there we go. Percy Thrillington. Oh, I love that last name. Thrillington says, MC Toon, I love your content. Keep it up, my man. Thank you very much, Mr. Thrillington. And I pronounced Oregon correctly. I hope I repronounced it correctly. Sean Hawkins says, I'm from wherever Toon is from. He's dreaming. Sean Hawkins, no, you are not in Minnesota. I know where you are. It's a bit west of here. So Mandela. Oh, he lives on the ice wall. Very nice. Sleazy Bees is one of the few North Koreans that have internet access. Oh my God.
Man.
I got into watching documentaries on North Korea, and that's a crazy place. It's a crazy place. So, we've got Brian connecting as we speak.
All right.
He's working on it.
Hey, if I can do it, he can definitely do it.
Yeah. Well, the Egyptian god Ra Thoth was not able to. Oh.
He's a different kind of special.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, he has, if you've been on my Discord server, people, I've been putting screenshots of our conversation on Discord, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Since when is Minnesota a country? It's not a country. It's a state.
Is it though?
Canada
Is it a state?
Yeah, but Canada doesn't even really count as a country.
True,
Hardly, right?
it doesn't.
It's America light.
It's just wasteland. Yeah.
Man Devil says North Korea is the second most fascinating place on Earth. The first is North Sentinel Island. I don't know what.
I don't know where that is either.
And the George said is upset because I'm ignoring his chats.
Who's in the George?
And the George said he's all right. All right, Mike.
Kidding. Love you.
And George,
He's a good guy.
He said MC Tune is from my dreams. See, I might be ignoring that on purpose.
Got a lot of fans out there.
All
right.
He says, I'm USA from Jordan. I mean, I'm Jordan from the USA. There you go. Read a few back chats there from you. There. All right, we've got Brian Leake.
How you doing, Michael?
I'm good. Let me get this. Let's see. I gotta hide myself. I don't need to see that. There you go. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Brian? Oh, there you are. I don't hear you. Your audio's off.
I like to pace around, so here I am right here.
Okay.
If anybody wants to see me again, just special request. Other than that, I'm gonna stop video and start audio.
Okay. All right. So
I did have a special request, man.
Okay.
Special request, kind of before we start. We try to police ourselves and over, at Brandon's, and I mean, you don't have to like us, but you got to admit we keep each other fairly honest. You got to admit that, man. We like to. I want to start just before we really get started. I wanted to help you police your side, something y'all bypassed. If you could be so kind to pull up that indoor rainbow.
the indoor rainbow.
Yeah, man. If you could pull that up, man. I just wanted to point out
All right, hold on a second. Let me
on that.
grab my reference to that. The one in the garage.
Yeah, the
Right.
one with the kid in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
That this disgusting Latter-day Saints could not get out of his head. I mean,
Yeah, that made my blood
if
boil
you
a little
watch that, I'm not going to repeat what he said, but if you watch that, how sick does somebody have to be that that's the only thing he can think of when he sees a kid?
bit.
Wow, what an horrible,
this
horrible
sick
person.
son of a bee.
All right. I'm looking for it. Coming up here. I store my stuff in Evernote, and Evernote updated their app, and it's super slow. I'm like, I want to not upgrade the app because it's just like they made all these UI improvements, and now it's super chuggy. So rainbows. There it is. Indoor rainbow.
Yeah, I wanted to point out if you could just play that, and then when it shows the outside window, you could slow it down. I'm going to see if you notice the problem. And then when they show the garage door, when it shows it from the ground up, you might be looking at the kid and everything, but you know, we like to analyze everything. When you see the garage door for the first time, if you could just pay attention to that spot, see if you see anything
all right,
wrong.
I'll share.
I'm going to give you a chance to pick it out, and then I'll intervene if you don't find it.
I'll share it to you so you see. All right, so there it is. It's showing.
Yeah, now go ahead and play from that point.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, so light coming from there.
Okay. Now you see right there and right there. Tell me if you see right there. You see anything wrong right there?
I don't see anything wrong. I see a window, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Is the window the white or the yellow?
I think the yellow is down on the bottom there is the window. Right?
Okay, what is the white? Is the white not the window there?
The white bar across the top?
No, the white at the very bottom.
Oh.
The white square window.
That's the window, yeah.
Okay, and then right above that would be the rectangular what?
The rectangular what? It looks like it's the silver reflective coating on the insulation on the ceiling of the garage. I have the same.
The what coating? What coating was that?
The silver reflective coating on the ceiling of the garage there.
Okay, good. All right, good. You caught it. Okay, so that was the whole argument, is that you need a reflection. Okay, if the reason you can't do it indoors unless you have a reflective surface. Okay, the point is you need the reflector to go with the
that's the new claim. The goalpost shifting change used to be that you need the dome. You need a curved surface. It needed to be the dome. The curved dome is what you needed, but now that's changed. Now you just need any reflective surface. Is that now the new way that the rainbows work? It has nothing to do with
a little bit of reflective surface is going to cause that rainbow.
I know, it's so funny.
No, the whole point is that you have to have a reflective surface. Okay?
No, a curved reflective surface.
That was his argument, and
was
he
the
didn't
original.
catch it.
Yeah, the original was. But now here's the problem. I'll show you that right here. All right. So the way that rainbows work is and you see this in the sky too. When you look towards the rainbow, the sun is behind you. Okay? That's where it is. It's behind you. You don't look towards the sun and then the rainbow is over the sun. It's the other direction. And this is well understood, and the mechanism by which it works is well understood. It is it's all based on Snell's law, and it's
for anybody honest out there.
Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done explaining. No, I'm for the audience. For the audience, I'm explaining it. Okay. Good. The droplets in the air, the water, the light enters the droplet, and because it enters the droplet at a slight angle, it refracts it, and it separates the light into different colors, right? Because the different frequencies of light are refracted slightly differently based on the frequency.
We agree.
Okay.
We do agree with that.
Then it hits inside the droplet, and it bounces because the angle is shallow enough. Then it bounces inside, and then it comes back out of that raindrop, and it has both reflected inside back towards you. So you look away from the sun, and that's why the rainbow comes towards you. And it has refracted the different wavelengths a different amount. And it's the droplets of water, not a dome and not a firmament. And it has nothing to do with any of those types of things.
That is great, brother. That is awesome. I just wanted to make sure you knew that there had to be a reflective surface. Now that we've got that cleared up, then you
Wait, did you hear nothing he just said?
Indoors, then there's no problem at all.
So Brian, let me ask you a question.
Okay, so
Brian, let me ask you a quick question.
Let me hold on, dude. I'm talking to Michael. Let me ask: Are we under the impression that we don't need a reflective surface?
No, you don't.
You need the raindrops.
Okay.
You don't need
what
anything
does Michael
else.
say? Not you. Okay, so you're under the impression you don't need a reflective surface. Okay, science.
No,
Okay,
no,
to
wait.
get a prism,
Hold on.
you need two
Don't misquote
reflectors.
me.
You need a second. You need a first order. I just listen. Everything you said, you can't give me 10 seconds. Okay, science says you need a second. You need a first order and a second order. Okay, you need the first order of the raindrops and the bouncing around of the light, the refraction of the light, and then you need the reflective surface. Okay, I'm not saying it necessarily has to be a dome. Okay, but you need two orders of. Our whole argument is you need a reflective surface along with the raindrops and the drops, whatever you want to call them, droplets, ice, anything in the air that's reflecting off each other. But you need a second order for a rainbow. That's the whole point. As long as you acknowledge that, I'm good, man.
But
Right.
but
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Can you only see a rainbow on a clear day? Or can you see one in a cloudy day as well?
First, are you denying you need two orders of reflections?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then you're a science denier.
No. Can
So-
you only see a rainbow on a
Show
clear
me an
day?
indoor rainbow without a reflective surface. The rainbow indoors is the lack of reflection. If you have a
So you don't understand how
reflective
reflections work.
surface,
Brilliant.
then no problem.
Yeah, the two bounces inside the raindrop are the two reflections. You don't need an additional external surface to that. There's no
Can you demonstrate
explanation.
that? Can you demonstrate that?
Yeah. So your claim, the claim that I hear most of the time, and I don't know if this is yours or not, is that somehow it's the dome is involved, the firmament is somehow involved. But I can bring up the actual like descriptions of how, if you want, how the reflections inside the raindrop work.
I mean, I don't really want the rhetoric. I want a demonstration of a rainbow indoors without a reflective surface.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. That's what's on the screen right now. So that
You're not showing me a rainbow without it. You're showing me a rainbow with a reflective surface.
That reflective surface could not possibly be involved in this rainbow.
Then it should be no problem for you to show me one without it.
Then it should be no problem for you to show it, right? The burden is on you.
100 times, buddy.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have, no, maybe not 100 times. Okay, in all honesty, I've tried it 10 times.
So here's the deal.
You
The
want me
claim
to turn you? Hey, listen, I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. If you
How does a grown ass
show you
man
on
not know how a
screen right
rainbow
now,
works?
water hose. If you'd like, I'll show you on screen a water hose spraying indoors without a reflective surface, not making a rainbow. But I think we both know better.
Do
a
it.
water hose. Oh,
Listen,
so-
man, you don't
so
gotta always be right, McTude.
explain-
Nobody's perfect. Just say,
no,
okay,
but on this one,
there is a reflective surface.
but I'll tell you,
there.
Brian, on
I'll
this
have to
one,
look into it.
on this one, yeah, it's not that complicated, and there is a good description in physics and a good understanding of this. In fact, there are a few studies where people have done indoor studies on rainbows. Let's see, do I have it?
Yeah,
I
show
don't
me a
have it.
single order rainbow. Show me a first order rainbow. That's all I'm asking for.
What do you mean a first order rainbow?
I mean one reflector. Okay. Yeah. Show me a prism.
Oh.
Okay, with just one piece of glass, just basically not a prism. Okay, you can't just you got to have, it's got to be a reflection, multiple reflections to get the rainbow. Second order,
Have you
at least,
have you seen the cover of Pink Floyd's album Dark Side of the Moon?
Right, that's a pyramid.
That's
Okay,
got,
it's not just going through one pane of glass, Michael.
yeah, you said reflections. Those are not reflections, those are refractions.
Sorry, let me clarify. Okay, you
Okay.
can't just go through one piece of glass. I mean, you can get a piece of glass and get some spray and get a reflection off the glass, excuse me, and off of the mist. That would be two bounces. I mean, the whole point is,
It's not a you
listen,
say
you're not going
bounce.
to be able to demonstrate
You say bounce, but do you mean not bounce?
rain reflective. I'm not really using that as evidence of a dome there. I mean,
Okay.
it could be. I mean, I got open mind, so maybe, but I'm not going to make that definite claim. That's a huge leap.
Yeah, it certainly is. It violates so much physics.
I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how a grown man has no idea how a rainbow works.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, man, if you want to make fun of me, that's fine. But I would really appreciate you back that up and show me a rainbow with only one, with just a water spray. With
You
no
can just go outside and do it yourself, though. Like, how is this
fun of me,
hard?
pal. Michael's
How is
not
this
making
hard
fun of
for
me.
you? You can do it on your own
Show me,
outside.
bud.
You can do it on your own inside. It's not hard.
That's funny, bud. How many times have you tried it? Be
I've
honest.
done it many times.
You're a
Outside.
lying sack of shit, dude.
Oh, I'm like,
'Cause I've-
okay, buddy.
I've tried it right now.
All
I'll
right.
show you my setup, dude. It
Do
doesn't
it.
work.
Show it.
Oh my god.
Waiting.
One thing we know for sure about flat earthers is the experiment. The attention to detail is always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So there you go. There is how the water droplet makes a rainbow.
Hey, dude. Doesn't work much in the day, okay?
It doesn't work much in the day.
What?
Can you see me?
Did you think that's English?
I said, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work without sunlight. If
What
it's
doesn't
not
work?
daytime, it's not going to work. But
Well, it works with. It works. It does depend on the quality of your light bulb. If you have an LED bulb, it can only show you the colors that are present in the bulb. Are you still there, Brian?
no,
What?
I appreciate if he showed me his setup.
I don't think he has a setup. He did.
I know he don't have a setup. He's lying sack of shit, dude. I prefer to just talk to you.
So, is it only sunlight now? And are you in a tent?
Yeah, it's a tent. Exactly. Good eye.
Why do you have a tent?
Because that's where I put my little setup.
In your garage?
No, it's outside of the garage.
Oh.
It's in a tent. It's blocking all the sunlight. Anyway, the point is, man, just humble yourself, man, and say you have to have a reflective surface.
Except
Well,
you don't.
I'm showing it on screen. You do need a
Just humble
reflective
yourself
surface.
one time. Show me you're a humble man, Mike.
Inside the raindrop is the reflective surface.
That's the whole point. You need the reflection from the mist and a reflector to go along with
So
it.
are you saying there's another one that's necessary?
I just didn't know that you knew that the ceiling was a reflector. If you know that and you still want to stick with that, then we can carry on. I really don't want to make the whole debate about that.
Oh, okay, all right.
But this guy's like, yeah, I've read that 10 times. Dude, why would he even say that, dude? I mean,
Because I have. You only need, just water,
show me your
sunlight.
setup, bud. Show me your setup. You just called me out. I showed you my setup. Now show me your setup.
If I have one, I'll show you.
Yeah, he doesn't have one. So here, Brian, look at this one here. I
He
got.
doesn't have one. Everybody listening knows he doesn't have one because he's never fucking done it. We both know that.
Yeah.
I'd like
Right.
to keep this between me and you, Michael, and I'll calm down.
So because I don't have one on me right this second, I've never done it in my entire life. Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
brilliant deduction right there.
I have a question right here. This is from my friend Joel sent me this. Some pictures he took of rainbows. Do you see this here, Brian?
Yeah, I do.
Do you
I just
see?
got a double rainbow the other day, man. It was cool as fuck.
Did you see a double rainbow all the way?
No, not all the way.
Not
I mean,
all.
it was cool though. It was a clear day. There wasn't even no clouds. It was awesome cool.
So here's this rainbow here. The rainbow is between him and the trees. If you look, you can see the coloration is affecting the color of the trees. It's between him and the trees. You see that? And
I'm good with all that, man. Hey,
and
believe
it's
it or
cloudy.
not, I've drove through a rainbow, man. I've got my old friends denied it, and I'm like, dude, I drove through one. I mean, it wasn't the colors. I didn't drive through the actual colors, but I was with a buddy, and then my roommate, and we drove through it. And he called me in the middle of the night, like a couple of years ago, and he's like, "Tell these people we drove through a rainbow." And I'm like waking up, and I'm like, "Yeah, we drove through a fucking rainbow." But it did get bright, and then it got bright for about 30 feet, and then it got dark, and we turned around, and it was behind us. It was cool, but
What
you know,
was
so they
there
say you
a
can't actually
was it
catch one.
when
I'm not sure.
when you look back, did you see a leprechaun scurrying away?
No, but there's definitely one in that barn, though, McMichael. But listen, man, my whole point is you're not going to demonstrate one without a reflective surface. Look, Mother Nature is good at making them. I'm not making a dome claim. I mean, that's to me that's evidence for a dome, but I'm not going to just jump out and say with just that evidence, yeah, there's certainly a dome. But my point is, you're not going to make one without a reflective surface. And your boy over there,
but
if you can show me that, or if you can, I'd be good with that.
But Brian,
other than that, humble yourself, Michael.
Brian, what if there's cloudy skies and there's no way for the light to get from the mythical dome to?
I never acted like I can imitate and keep up with Mother Nature. My whole point is you're not going to make one with only a water hose. You need a reflector. You can't make one indoors. In other words, you can do it outside in the daytime, but indoors you need a reflector, period. I've tried it several times, and you are not going to make one indoors without a reflector. I'm sorry, bro.
Brian, what is the new description for how rainbows work, since this is no longer it?
Okay, this got to go through at least 2 orders. Okay, like a prism. Okay, it's got to go through the one glass, then the other. Okay, or indoors, you need a reflective surface. I'd really like to get past this and start the debate.
All right.
I just wanted to, yeah.
Let me. Oh dear, hold on. I got a couple of people asking, saying some things here. Let me. So.
Is it fans?
Yeah, people asking some. All right, so let's see. Oh my goodness, there we go. All right, we got Corbin X's Thoth is pronounced tote. H's are silent in Seth, pronounced set. However, this is interpretation, of course, because ancient Egyptian is dead. So I don't know if you missed that, Brian, but I was going to be debating a guy that thinks he's actually Thoth or Thote or Tote. David Oliver says he saw 2 rainbows the other day. Very nice. Were they double rainbows all the way? Did you cry, David Oliver? It's okay. You can cry in double rainbows. It's Big K says gives you a participation medal, Brian.
Oh,
that's nice.
I'll take it.
David says everything you see has a reflective surface. That's how you see it. It reflects off of the thing you see, unless I suppose if it's the original light source directly from the light source to your eye. Alyssum, do you know Alyssum, Brian? He says, Brian, if you're a doer, come to Australia. I will teach you how to fly and navigate. You won't be a globe denier afterwards. Would you go to Australia to learn how to fly?
Allow me to respond to that, man.
Sure.
If anybody, I mean, I'm sure some of y'all keep up with Globe Busters, and we looked at the Google representation of flying from one side of the equator to the other, north to south, and it shows stars coming from the bottom up. Okay, and Iri Landucci just presented a time lapse from a pilot from Zurich to San Pablo from 40. I think it's 42 degrees. No, it's 40 degrees north to 21 degrees south latitude, passing over the equator at a time lapse. And I was wondering why Globers don't use the excuse, because I'm thinking if I was a Glober, I would be like, why can't I see more stars? You know, because if you're going to use, I'll try and make this quick. If you're going to say that we're on a flat Earth, you know, then we should not see more stars as we rise in altitude. That would be like my number one argument. Like, look, if what you're saying is it's like a short hallway or limited height, then I would be able to rise up and not see more. And just so happens now I know why y'all don't really use that argument, because in reality, that flight did in time lapse just shows the sky just kind of easing off, coming from the going from the top down and then easing off to the right, showing that it's not us moving, and it's the stars moving. It's not what the ISS video shows us. It's not what Google freaking simulation shows. Reality does not match what we are shown. And
I'm having a hard
you got
time
to rebuttal
understanding
that.
that.
Love to hear it.
I didn't really understand what you're talking about there at
Yeah,
all.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, let me try and simplify that. Okay, what we've seen in
this'll
reality, a
help,
time
this'll
lapse from Zurich to San Pablo. Okay, from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere.
San
Time lapse.
Pablo? San Pablo? Okay.
San Pablo. And so the time lapse plane flight did not show what Google simulations showed or what the ISS shows when you're cruising and it shows the stars coming up from the bottom. Okay. Well, the time lapse from the plane did not show that. It did not show that. Not even one bit. Anybody who hadn't subscribed to Globebusters, check it out. It was Sunday's little half show.
So I'm still confused. What are you trying to say? You're trying to say that you don't see stars in the airplane?
No, I'm trying to say that you wasn't getting
Because
like
the
a
higher
whole.
up you go, the
All right.
less stars you see, right?
But Brian, I don't think you're explaining it well. Maybe it'd be better if people were to watch the video.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
ain't, man. I probably ain't. I'll give you that.
Okay. So would you go to Australia to learn how to fly? And Alyssa will teach you for free.
Man, I just had my 7th grandbaby, man, and I got some inept children, a few of them anyway. They need me here, man. But I really do appreciate the offer, man.
All right.
Sincerely.
There you go. He's got a couple yeses, but all right. Connell Silverfur says light bounces off most surfaces and enters your eyes. That's how we see the world in color. This flurf has demonstrated it doesn't understand eyes.
Well, give me this, man. Okay, at least until you can show me a rainbow indoors with water, at least until you can demonstrate that, will you give me that so far we see it with a reflective surface, the sprids of water plus a reflector? Will you at least give me that until then?
No, because that particular video, the from the light source to where the rainbow was seen, there's no reflective surface between them.
Okay, well, my channel is called Flat Earth Test, and I broke down the reflectors right when I seen the water. The whole flat Earth argument is you can't make a rainbow indoors without another reflector. So in other words, outdoors, okay, the argument would be is you would need another reflector, not just the water droplets. That's the whole argument.
And like I showed the yeah, you're looking, I'm still sharing that to you. That description of how rainbows work inside the droplet of water. I would love to see the hypothesized explanation for how you think this additional reflection is necessary.
Okay, I wouldn't say
work on
that would be proof of a dome. I would say that would be like just evidence of a crystalline reflective dome, maybe. I'm not going to 100% subscribe to that, but I would say that sprites and elves and, you know, I don't know. I'm not 100% subscriber to that, but
Did you say
I
sprites
like
and
to keep an
elves?
open mind. Yeah, you seen the sprites, where it kind of drops down from the ceiling and shit. But like I said, I'm not going to say that's 100% proof, but I at least use that as at least evidence. But I'm not 100% subscriber to the dome, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's their argument, and I think it stands. It stands inside. You do need a reflector to make a rainbow. I thought you would at least admit to that possibility.
All right. Stringer News 1 is asking, define reflective surface.
Come on, man. Something that reflects, like that ceiling.
Okay. I think that was because you were getting confused between refracting, like it does as it enters and exits the water droplet, and reflecting, which is what happens at the backside of the water droplet. So that's, I think, because there's a bit where I think you were, to be fair to you, you were mixing the terms there, and I don't think it was intentional.
Okay, I'll give him that. But hey, man, like you should have took it easy on Latter-day Saints. Like he was being pretty polite and everything, man.
No,
I
he
don't
was
know if
not.
it-
No.
Screw that guy.
Well,
No.
dude, the first
He's a
three quarters of the
bastard.
debate, I didn't see the end, so maybe something happened at the end that I
Yeah.
missed. Okay.
Yep, that's
But three
exactly
quarters,
what
he was
happened.
being okay. But at three quarters of the way in, you're sitting there saying that 8 inches per mile squared is not how you measure shit, and you know damn good and well it matches all the engineering software.
I
where
know
it's just
damn
barely
good and
off
well
up
it's
to
the
1,000
wrong
miles.
formula. It's the wrong formula to
Yeah,
predict.
it's the wrong formula. If you want to use L1, L2,
Hold on.
over-
Let me tell you. It's the wrong formula to predict the amount hidden. Where do you put
Yeah,
where do you put
Matter
the
of fact,
observer
Brian,
height?
you can do a quick Google search right now. Figure it out.
Where do you
okay,
put the
fair
observer
enough.
height?
But listen, hold on. Yeah, but that's all. That's the only lacking factor. You know what I'm saying?
Then it's the
And you get
wrong
no-
equation.
You, know what I'm
You
saying?
can't
kinda took
use
advantage
it.
of that.
It's the wrong equation. Use the right equation. Use the equation that includes the observer's height.
Yeah, well, he didn't catch on. I thought you took advantage of that a little bit, man.
Yeah, if anybody still says 8 inches per mile squared is useful for predicting the amount hidden, they've not been paying attention.
Okay,
The
well, do
problem-
this.
the problem
you
isn't-
You're a very good mathematician.
Hold on, I'll say this. I have a problem with the globers that say 8 inches per mile squared is not valid because it's a parabola. That's not why it's an invalid formula. It's an invalid formula because it has no mechanism in the formula, in just that part of the formula, to tell you anything about what is expected to be hidden. So it's always wrong for that. It's never parabola versus sphere. It's always,
I'll
it
give you
doesn't
that.
give you that.
I will give you that. We'll do this real quick. Will you tell me? It doesn't. I mean, at this point, it's not going to be 8 inches per mile squared. We might exceed that. We might not. But will you tell me the expected curvature over 750 miles and of altitude? I mean, Let me say 20 miles in height. What's the expected curvature? Or block?
The expected block. Yep, that's the right term. And I can get you the formula, and we can plug it in. Best to just use it in Walter Bislin's curve calculator because he uses the correct formula there. In fact, on his page, he derives the formula. So I will, right here, I will take a screenshot of this so that people can see it. And I'll show it to you. Did you? Maybe you heard the screenshot go. Getting it down here. Come on. Sometimes screenshots take a second. There it is. All right. So, and you're still seeing this. So when I drop it in, you'll see the formula. So there's the formula right there. The second one down would be the one that we want to look at. H equals R over cosine of S over R minus R cosine R. R divided by R plus H0. All of that minus R. Okay, the point is, H is the hidden.
The point is just go to Walter Bislin's.
Absolutely, that uses it. And the other thing is that refraction is a thing. We don't ignore refraction. You know why?
Refraction, which we
Yeah,
immediately
we do.
and
Right
adamantly
now,
claim
wait,
is always
wait.
present
Right
because there's
now-
temperature fluctuation and atmospheric conditions that are consistently affecting what you perceive. Refraction, which we immediately and adamantly, refraction always happens. That's why it's important.
Boy. He's a good boy.
Well, if
Look,
you
man,
can't
look,
adequately
wait,
account for
wait.
refraction,
Right
you can't
now,
make a
we
claim
can't use
about the
refraction.
apparent location,
Wait,
now can you,
haven't
Andy?
You haven't heard my model yet. So my model doesn't
Oh, you got a model now.
refraction also. Yes, I do.
So your model of the flat Earth, fine. I'll tell you how our model works, right? And that's what the formula is. But yeah, let's go to Walter Bislin. It's easy. You just type in Bislin curve calculator. And it'll be the first one. Typically, there it is.
Hey, I'm just messing with him about good boy, man. Don't take it personal, dude. I'm messing with him, dude.
That Austin Whitsitt, I won't tell him.
No, whoever that was. Was that Austin?
That was Austin Whitsitt. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad I said don't take it personal.
All right. So you want miles and feet. So observer height is how many feet?
Okay, let's put it at 127,000 feet. Let's put it at Felix Baumgartner height.
The observer height. Okay. And the target distance.
That's just it. I'm seeing what it says about the targets. I'm looking for the distance to the horizon, and I would use like 1.22 times the square height of the 127,000. Yeah, I would square 127,000 and multiply it times 1.22.
But you need to include.
Would that work?
But you need to include refraction in that, of course.
Well, no, because I got my own refraction. We can.
You have your own,
and then I'll include mine.
You have your own refraction for your model, your flat Earth model. We have our model, the globe model, that has refraction, and so I'll tell you what we would expect to see for the globe.
I understand.
You tell me what you expect to see for flat Earth.
Though. I'm good with that, but give me the geometry, if you don't mind.
The geometry. You want to see a picture of it? There's a picture of it.
No, talking about give me the geometry before the 7/6 or whatever other refraction. Then we can.
When you say give me the geometry, what do you mean?
What Walter Bislin says before refracting the viewer or the distance or whatnot, before the 7/6R.
Yeah, there's no 7/6R in here.
Is there not?
Where'd you get that from?
This is this right here.
Is it the old 4/3? So what do you got?
No, this is so best to use K, the coefficient of refraction.
That is the K value.
Yeah, right there.
Right?
0.001 right there, which is a pretty low refraction.
Yeah, it's 7 divided by 6, right?
No.
I mean, you could easily just call that 7/6R, couldn't you?
0.001. Let me tell you, it's 0.001 is not 7 divided by 6.
I learned something new. I thought it was 7/6R. I thought that was the K value. Sorry.
So K, to get that particular value, it would be K equals plus 0.17.
So you're not bringing it. You're not talking the lapse rate. You're not going to bring in the lapse rate or nothing. Just
the lapse rate will give you the coefficient of refraction.
Okay. Well, look, can you give me the geometric answer before K and the lapse rate? Does it offer that?
The non-refracted version. I can put refraction to 0.
Yeah. Please.
So observer height. So the problem is that you don't have an observation of 127,000 feet that we can look at and test. Right. This is
you do. Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah, but did you do any analysis of the distant objects on the horizon to see what you can or cannot see?
I've studied it, but I can't prove the distance seen, but I would like to see at least what the geometry says, just out of curiosity. And I have a point to bring along with that. You probably easily answer it, but I'd just like to at least offer it up,
Okay. What?
You first, man.
I don't know what you're wanting me to, what you're asking.
What's the geometry say for the horizon distance at the distance to the horizon at 127,000 feet?
All right, I will. So to do that, because of the high elevation.
Yeah, no rush, bro. I know, dude. You're good at math, and it might take a second too, but
because of the high elevation, the amount of refraction is very small because the gradient, you're above most of the gradient, so it doesn't change it very much. So if you're acceptable with a small margin of error, you could use the 1.22 times the observer's height in feet.
And what is that? What is that?
I don't have that one memorized, but this uses this doesn't use that's an approximation formula. This uses the actual the correct complete trigonometry formula. And the nice thing about it is he derives all of it on here.
Yeah, I know.
So,
he's definitely a smart guy. But man, besides all that, man, I would say, man, when you get up that high, I mean, given a clear day and that that the atmosphere is not too opaque, you can skip about 600-700 miles. You think?
I don't know. When we can look at it here. It's right here. I'm not gonna guess it because my feelings on it aren't what I'm gonna go with.
I didn't think
So I'm not gonna.
Man.
So here you go. Horizon data, distance on surface 435 miles. The dip angle 6 degrees. The distance from eye, that's I don't know what the difference on that one is. So there it is. Distance on surface 430. It's the distance from eye is because you're at a higher elevation, so it's going to be farther. So there it is, 435 miles. So if you were to look at the Felix Baumgartner video and try to analyze and find some distant objects on the horizon, if you saw something significantly more than 435 miles away, then you'd have something. But I've not seen anybody do an analysis of that.
Yeah, so 435 miles would be the globe, and that is without refraction. I will even give you that. But man, I would say that that's not even as far as the let's say that toward the tip of Florida, toward Miami, without the Keys, without going off the intercoastal to like North Florida, and you can see that in a high altitude airplane. I think Jay Tolan Media demonstrated that clearly. He could see it good into North Florida, partially into Georgia, coming from close to Lauderdale, which isn't the very bottom of Florida. But then when he got halfway to like toward the end of the panhandle of Florida, he could look back and see the other side of Florida. So that would be my evidence. I would say go check out Jay Tolan Media.
I love Jay Tolan Media. I love
cool,
his San Jacinto Mountain where there's 6,000 feet hidden behind the curve. I love that one.
You could say that, yeah. I'm good with that, but yeah, at least you acknowledge this, Tune. So you didn't really realize what the horizon's supposed to be until you just did the math and realized that at 127,000 feet, the horizon's supposed to be only 430 miles or 435 miles. When if you don't, you could take away his 1,000-mile observation, but man, can you really take away his 500-mile observation? I mean, it's plain as day seeing the mountains from Texas to Baja California.
Oh,
you really gonna laugh, dude?
He is so terrible at identifying landmarks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Okay, I'll give you that. But is there any other
then you got nothing.
Baja from Texas, pal?
Then you got nothing. Oh, dude.
Is there any other mountains besides Baja closer to Texas, McToon? Tell me a mountain before 500 miles.
Yeah, are you having a seizure?
Stop being a smartass, I will too, dude.
Stroke or something over there.
Yeah, should we call the authorities? So you do you need help?
There, Brian.
If you stop being a smartass, I will too.
So Brian, let me ask you this: can you see Cuba from Miami?
Don't obfuscate, man. I'm not interested in talking to him. Okay. Is
So
there
Cuba's
any
only
other
90
mountains?
miles away.
Are there
from
any other
Miami.
mountains closer to Dallas than Baja?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual mountains.
Yes,
my
there are.
God.
Okay. Then look it up and show me.
It's been done.
Hmm?
I didn't.
Yeah, I know it's been done.
I didn't.
So look up any mountains closer
Brian,
to
Brian, do you know?
Dallas than Baja.
Do you know why? Do you know why I haven't looked up that one? Because so many other people have already identified the mountains correctly. So I'm sorry, I don't have it right off the top of my head.
People never thought that at 127,000 feet, the horizon's supposed to be at 435 miles.
I don't
Why
know
had you do
that
the
has
math?
anything- I don't know why that has anything to do with this, but he when they've analyzed his videos, they've found that he misidentified landmarks, and the landmarks that when they were identified properly were completely within the viewable distance. So
Yeah, that agrees with my model. Okay, then show me the closest mountains to Dallas, Texas, please.
I don't have that stuff at my fingertips here. So
All right, fair enough.
you
Just as long as
don't
ain't
either.
laughing
You don't
now.
either.
I mean, you just got me, dude. I don't. You're right, but you just started laughing like it's not even arguable. Come on, man. This is a fair debate, man. Let's keep it.
Because
Let's keep it fucking clean.
I've watched Jay Tolan's, videos. But okay.
I will give you that.
Ooh.
I'll give you that. That some of them landmarks are, you could argue that there's something else, but from him to see mountains over Dallas, Baja is technically the closest mountains, and that's over 500 miles. And that one, until you can debunk that, that one will stand.
Yeah, I'll just go find the video of whoever debunked it already. Minnie Karen for 10, I think, shekels says somewhere over the rainbow, Earth is flat. There you go, Brian. You got a fan.
Thanks, Karen.
From Israel. Thanks, Minnie Karen. So here's a good question from Connell Silverfur. Says Globebusters proved the Earth's rotation with the laser gyroscope, then denied it. They paid a guy to design a mechanical gyroscope. He proved the globe.
That's great, man.
Oopsie.
Then what was the so how did he so he showed 15 degrees. How are you proving that it was the device spinning?
Well, so in science, what you do is you form a hypothesis, right? And then if you do your experiment, and if at the end you wind up with your hypothesis was confirmed or your hypothesis was denied or falsified. So you say, I hypothesize that the Earth is rotating. You get an instrument that's designed to measure rotation. You turn it on and you do an experiment on that. Now, Bob did do that. He hypothesized that it was something else, perhaps, interfering with the gyroscope. And so he tried to block he called it heavenly energies. He tried to block it with, I don't remember what it was, in a chamber of some sort, and it failed. He also
I'll explain when you're done.
And then he's like, and we're going to try it in bismuth. And I don't know if he tried it in bismuth or not, but anyway, the additional time that he tested that, it falsified his hypothesis that it was something else, leaving the confirmation of the previous hypothesis. So there you go.
My response to that would be, can he encapsulate the light in bismuth? So if you are going to use a ring laser gyro, okay, just for explanation's sake, and you're going to say that, okay, what is the reference? Okay, so if the ring laser gyro is putting out light, okay, and you're saying that light is turning, okay, then it's either the medium or it's you turning. There has to be a reference frame. Otherwise, they would be able to detect the speed around. You can't have both. You can't have Michelson Morley being awash saying it proves no ether. If it's just the light bending, then we would be able to know how fast we're going forward. If you're measuring the light, you can't measure a small circle but not a big circle, Michael. If you can say that it's the light turning with the reference frame, then you got to tell me the speed of the big circle, not just the little circle.
So now, are you aware that Michelson Morley and the Michelson Gale, which is the foundation of these gyroscopes, they have a different geometry to the test? Do you know that?
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Okay.
But there still has to be a reference frame, man.
Well, no.
What do you mean? Well, no. So what is telling me?
Rotation is the Michelson Gale. The rotation is absolute, right? Velocity is not, but rotation is absolute. So I'll show you here.
I understand. That's fair. That's fun to say. But so you're going to tell me that you can detect a small circle, but not a big one. That's what you're basically saying.
Brian, do you know how a gyroscope works?
I understand this. And according to relativity, there has to be a reference frame, period. You can't just say that, hey, I'm turning, because if the light is also turning, hold on. If the light is also turning, you would not know you were turning, okay? So there has to be a still reference frame or a medium, okay? If there's no medium, then there's no turning, okay? So if you claim that Bob proved 15 degrees, you're basically debunking the results of the Michelson-Morley was, hey, since we know we're moving 30 miles a second around the sun, then there must not be an ether. And that was the actual results written in the paper.
Oh, that's
all right. Let me show you this. The top one here is Michelson-Morley. Okay, they had the beam split down here. It went both directions, and I didn't draw them the same length. They're the same length. And then they came back and they measured. They're very simplified. And then Michelson Gale, they had it, and they sent it around two both directions at the same time. So two different beams went one clockwise,
It split at the same
yep,
time.
Yep. And so when this one rotates, it makes, because the speed of light is constant, it makes the path longer for one of them and shorter for the other one, because it rotates while the light is going through
Exactly.
it.
So you're
right?
saying
So
we can measure a small circle, but not a big one.
No,
That's what you're saying.
No, this is a Michelson-Gale was actually a gigantic circle. Michelson-Morley isn't a circle; it's an L.
No, my point is if you're going to give us if you're going to try and take away the medium, then we should be able to measure the circle we do around the sun.
We do.
Just like we can measure the small circle.
Oh, yeah.
You should detect the speed, okay?
Sure.
Apparently there's no detection, there's no ether, there's no medium to detect the speed around the sun.
Brian, it doesn't measure speed, it measures angular velocity. Okay, so
and now pull up the Sagnac. Pull up the Sagnac experiment.
Yeah, that's Michelson-Gale. You didn't realize that? Michelson-Gale uses the Sagnac.
Not.
Yes, it's
it's not, but
I've read it.
Came afterwards. I understand your explanation for that.
Okay.
But I'll pull up the original.
So I've read it, and the Michelson-Gale measured rotation, of course. But you can measure the rotation around the sun as well. But here's what I think you're missing, is you're confusing speed, like linear velocity, with angular velocity. So on the Michelson-Gale experiment and a ring laser gyroscope with three separate
Allow me to explain why I'm not, okay?
Oh, I'm not done yet, though. Brian, I wasn't done with my explanation. It measures one rotation a day of the Earth rotating, and it measures 1/365th of the rotation around the sun. It's significantly smaller, but it can measure that. Go ahead.
That's a hell of a claim, but I'm good with that. Okay, but listen. Okay, so the reason, my rebuttal to that is they claim that. Okay, so what they did, okay, is George Aries went to set out to show that it was that us moving and not the stars. Okay, and what he did is he put water in his telescope. Okay, so now stop and think about this. Okay, if water slows down the light, okay, let's just not listen to the explanation. Let's think about this. Okay, if water slows down the light, okay, and I'm the one moving, okay, if I'm the one moving, then it shouldn't matter. Okay, I mean it should matter. If it's the light moving, it shouldn't matter. The light's already left the star, okay, and that means however many light years away, the light has already left the star, okay, and it wouldn't matter. But if I'm the one moving, I should have to adjust my telescope, okay, because I'm the one moving. In other words, the light's coming from plenty different other places. So if the light is moving, then you would not have to adjust anything, because the light's already left the star. It's already coming in at a certain speed. Okay, so if we slow the light down, it ain't gonna matter. Okay, if it's the light moving, because the light's gonna take however many years to get here anyway, right? So now what he found was that he did not have to tilt the telescope anymore at all, proving that it is the stars moving and not us, because light would have come in funky. You would have not got the same light coming in at the same angles. Every star you'd have to adjust different for. It's common sense, bro. People don't understand it. He debunked, and that's why they called it a failure. He failed to prove, and they tried to rename it saying he failed to prove it. Look, he failed to prove that the light is that we're spinning and the light's not.
Well, Aries and Michelson-Morley both had basically the same conclusion. Ether is not, does not exist. That's what.
Well, when I went to Caltech, it said that the results were that that Michelson did never accept the results of that experiment. The results were that there's no ether. He went to his deathbed. He got a Nobel, so he shut up. But,
doesn't change just because he disagreed with it. Doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't understand it. Now, Aries, I love the final conclusion from Aries. Says, I think myself justified in concluding that the hypothesis of Professor Klinkerfues is untenable. Professor Klinkerfues is untenable. So it was a falsified hypothesis by Professor Klinkerfues. So both of those were about testing whether or not ether was existed, and both of those had the same result through different testing methods. Ether doesn't exist.
That's funny.
That's what they both. It's not funny. That's what both
it's
of them
funny. Well, because
concluded.
Michelson said he set out to prove Earth's absolute motion through the solar system. That's what he set out to prove when he first started. He was the first one to make the interferometer back in Germany. Okay, like 8 years before the Michelson-Morley. Okay, and he set out to prove in his paper. He set out to prove there's absolute motion in space. That was his life projection.
But his
intentions.
His intentions.
Okay, if you don't have to tip the microscope. Okay, one thing. If you don't have to tip the telescope, then light should come in at every different angle. I mean, if light is different distances away,
then it's not using a medium. That's the conclusion. That it's not using a medium. That's what the conclusion was. But now here's the cool thing. I'm sharing right now on my website mc2.net/spin measurements of the rotation of the Earth using optical gyroscopes similar to Bob Nodell, much more detailed. In fact, some of these, they're able to actually measure the annual wobble of the Earth, which is just a few meters, about 8 meters at the poles is the wobble of the Earth. Now, optical gyroscopes are great. They're super precise, but they're not the only way to do it. I have some other ones here. Here's one where they used a diamagnetically levitating gyroscope. It was actually a plastic sphere. They used a 15 Tesla magnetic field, and they suspended this plastic sphere. Now, plastic is diamagnetic, so a very strong magnetic field can cause it to repel it enough to hold it in suspension. Then they spun it up. They used they got it spinning, and then they measured the change in rotation of this sphere. Now, because it was hovering and not touching anything, it wasn't affected by other things. So by friction, they were actually able to measure the rotation of the Earth in the right plane using that. They did a similar thing using this one, detection of Earth's rotation using superfluid phase coherence. This is about liquid hydrogen or liquid helium-3.
I would say that, using liquid helium-3, Flat Earth predicts that. That's what we think is up there. That's what we say is up there.
No.
Helium-3 has got zero viscosity.
It was in a lab.
Hold on. This exactly. But helium-3 is what goes up there between hydrogen, helium. Okay, helium has zero viscosity. Okay, so
this is different. You're changing
whatever
the topic.
rockets are up there. Well, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, that's fine.
Oh, go ahead. The craziness abounds. Let's hear it.
That's what we say is like basically the ether. It's like fucking helium-3 and other isotopes that are barely detectable. Okay, and that we're just now being able to detect. But helium-3 hits like right before absolute zero, which the Soundly rocket, the Google, to go fast rocket hit like recorded right there at like I think negative 272 degrees, right when helium-3 turns into helium-3, and the characteristics of helium-3 is it's got zero viscosity, okay, no refraction, okay, and so in other words, you could fly a rocket through it with zero friction whatsoever. Okay, they made a little fountain.
It still has density.
Yes, and so there's a fountain they made with it that's ever-flowing mountain. As long as they maintain that temperature, it'll continue on forever. It's there's no way to contain it. Hold on, there's no way to contain it. And as soon as it loses that temperature, it's gonna go out of phase. Okay, so that would make a layer. Hold on, I'm almost done. It's gonna lose phase. It's gonna drop out of helium-3. Okay, it's gonna once you heat it up. Okay, it's gonna drop into helium. and then
it's actually
you're gonna
still
have a boundary.
still helium-3.
You have a boundary like a Kármán line.
It's still helium-3. It's just
No,
we
no,
call
no,
it
no.
we
It's
call
not
it
helium-3. No,
when
no,
it goes
no, no.
from when it goes from liquid to gas. There's a name for that. We call it evaporation.
Yes, exactly. But that is a whole nother state of matter, dude.
Yep.
You're going to say that the helium-3 superfluid is what matter? So a normal state of matter, superfluid now, Michael?
Wait.
It's called superfluid. Okay.
It's just the properties of liquid helium. That's it. It's just the properties of liquid
Okay.
helium.
Then you got some research to do. Okay. Can I pull
I
something
want to
up?
give me some of that super fluid.
Do you mind if I pull up a Do you mind if I pull up a video real quick?
Something like that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I'm sharing. Hold on. I'll stop. Oh darn it. Hold on.
So
I'll
can you
stop
get
sharing.
super fluid by the gallon or no?
It's incredibly expensive and very difficult to maintain.
Got it.
So it doesn't just happen. Like in
Yeah, I know it doesn't
quantity.
just happen, but if you reach a height where the temperature is negative 272, like the Go Fast rocket showed, then it would naturally happen. That's my whole point.
There was a thermometer on there. I've never seen
Well,
a thermometer
whatever it
on the
was,
rocket.
You can call it a thermometer or call it whatever you want. It said negative 272,
Oh.
bouncing between 71, 72. So
Now,
call it whatever you want.
There's another thing that you need in order for helium to be liquid.
Yeah, no pressure.
No, high pressure. High pressure.
Bullshit.
The
Bullshit.
opposite.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Okay, MC. You say you need high pressure? Is that what you're saying we need?
You need, you need
things-
pressure to
hold on,
make
wait,
yes.
things. Yeah, we need pressure, right? So
my
everything
gosh.
happens quicker with higher pressure. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that there are, in order to maintain a liquid state, you need multiple things. You need pressure and temperature.
Able to even reach that temperature, you need almost zero pressure, period. As close as you can get to a vacuum to
That's
even reach that pressure. That's
quite
the
the
leaching
opposite.
process they're speaking of. That's the leaching process they're speaking of, is getting rid of the pressure to even achieve that low of a temperature. Coon. What are you talking about?
Brilliant.
You laugh all you want, dude. You're making a fool of yourself, bro. What do you think we do? What do you think we do in refrigeration? We take away, we put up the pressure, and then we expand it. Okay, so it's the expanded pressure.
when you
up
when you
above.
expand it, what
Okay.
does it do? It changes when you decrease the pressure. It changes from liquid to gas.
It gets colder, right? What's it do? It gets colder. So all the pressure
But
is
it
coming from the
changes
ground.
it changes phase from liquid to gas when you reduce the pressure.
Okay, so don't we have pressure up there at the top of Mount Everest? Don't
We
we?
have less. We have less
Yeah,
pressure
right.
than
But we
here.
do have pressure up there, right? Where did it
Yeah,
come
less
from?
pressure.
Is it created
Yeah.
up there at
No,
the
it's
peak of Mount Everest? Where do you think it came
no
from, bud?
gravity pulls down, and
No. Where
and
did it come from?
where did what come from?
Where did the gas come from?
From the earth.
It come from the ground, and it made it up there 6 miles, right? And it also made it up there 20 miles. So it's doing what? It's expanding, is it not?
Yeah, less pressure, so less likely
So
to
the
be
gas is expanding.
less likely
it's
to
getting
be
colder.
liquid. Less likely to be liquid.
Right. And it's going to hit a certain temperature. And according to the Go Fast rocket, when it hit damn near absolute zero, it did the same thing that we show in our labs today. It's called helium-3 superfluid. Okay.
Mm.
And it takes absolute low pressure, not high pressure, dude. It takes a damn near negative pressure. I
Oh
mean,
my
it takes
gosh.
one of the best vacuums we can achieve, dude. Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
That one.
Wait a minute. Wait. According to Michael, we need to pressurize something to cool it down now.
No, we need to pressurize something to keep it in liquid state.
No,
Liquid.
it's not liquid.
Liquid.
It's a super fluid. It takes almost damn near perfect vacuum and a perfect zero temperature. What do you
Yeah.
think they do to reach these damn near zero temperatures, McToon? What do you think they do? You
They-
think they add pressure?
They go to Hogwarts.
You got no
and
common
they
sense
sort it out
sometimes,
there.
brother.
Yes.
I still love you, though,
Yeah.
man.
They're like Adavra
Yes.
something like that. My goodness, that was a load of crazy. But here's the deal, people. Just so you know, do study ideal gas law and the associated other laws, the lower pressure means things go from liquid to gas easier. So all right, I got a couple things I got to read. I have another person coming in 15 minutes, Brian. It's going to be a second stream. This is going to be Curtis Chris. So if I could read a couple things here, I think we have some things going back to reflections and rainbows. From Kuros says, so if there were multiple reflective surfaces, would you see more rainbows and in multiple orientations? That's a good question.
I'd say yeah, probably.
Yeah. So there you go. So you could get in your tent there, you could get like 3 different mirrors and then have different rainbows maybe. Delcos,
I've only ever did one, but I'm not sure. I've done one.
All right. Delcos Man says this show has gone from Battle of the Egyptians Gods to Larry the Cable Guy, another amazing tune experience. Brian, are you Larry the Cable Guy, or are you you do something else, don't you?
Yeah, man, I do. I own a concrete business.
There you go. I'm building a deck. I might need some concrete. I'll give you a call.
Yeah, you get me there. I'll hook you up.
I'm in Minnesota. I don't know where are you?
Well, if it's on the way to George's, man, you just got to catch me right when the lake is frozen. But when it's starting to thaw, but it's not quite unthawed. So I'm going to go up there and do an experiment.
You going to George's? Oh, well, definitely we should.
Yeah, but I got to catch it before the lake is thawed. But when it's not too cold to do your concrete, man, that'll give me an extra reason to come up there.
All right. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna do it myself. I actually have a little 1-bag concrete mixer I'll use. So, all right. Connell Silverfur says it. I'll summarize Globebusters with 6 words: a 15-degree-per-hour drift. Thanks, Bob.
Cheers, Bob.
Truth Nerds says if Earth has a cheese dome, why are there flies? A cheese dome. The dome is made of cheese. I thought this just the moon was made of cheese. King Crew, can you confirm moon made of cheese, and what kind of cheese
I can confirm the moon is made of cheese.
And
absolutely.
What kind of cheese?
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella. That's a good cheese. Brian, if the moon
why
Definitely mozzarella, man. Definitely mozzarella.
Oh, we got 2 mozzarellas. In the chat, what kind of cheese would you want the moon to be made of? I'll go provolone.
Mozzarella's more reflective.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The reflective properties you need to take into account.
Yes.
All right. Very good question, Truth Nerds. Alyssum says, why is all navigation based on a globe? I think that's for you, Brian.
Man, if you're gonna sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, did you get electrocuted?
Yeah, sorry about that. I got bombed in on. But man, I'd say if you map everything out longitude, latitude, then you're gonna match below coordinates.
Yep, we got it. Okay. Stringer News 1 says oh my goodness, is this, they must have been talking about a cheese dome. He says if Earth has a cheese dome, why aren't the flies outside? I don't know. I must have missed a cheese dome thing in the chat or something. That's amazing. So, good question. Why aren't the flies outside? Mr. Tube, first name Fa, says, tell the Flurf that his audio is jacked up and to fix it, please. So, Brian, your audio is jacked up.
We're about done anyway, right? We're about done anyway. But
yes.
I get that a lot.
Magellan for 5 Sega Genesis dollars, or Singaporean dollars, says, hello, MC Toon from Singapore. Another rough day of dealing with the wind passing by at Mach 1.3. Singapore's on the equator.
That must be to you, right?
No, yeah. He's it's tongue in cheek there. He's on the equator. So he's rotating at 1,000 miles an hour, which is about Mach 1.3. There it is. Humphrey Pushcart for $6.66. Hail Santa says this exceeds Wolfgang Pauli not even wrong level dumb. Betcha this fellow does not understand the quote. Are you
Man,
familiar?
I didn't even hear the quote. I didn't even hear the quote, much less understand it.
From Wolfgang Pauli,
Brilliant.
Not Even Wrong. Truth Nerd says a cheese dome is made of glass. It's for covering cheese. Everything makes sense now.
Indeed.
There we go. Magellan. Let's see. It says Captain Moron Carmen Line is not a boundary layer. It's an arbitrary location defining the start of space. Did you know that, Brian?
Did we lose Brian?
No, he's still. Well, it looks like he's still here.
Oh.
He has had. I think he was on his phone in his garage, so he might have been dropping out.
Okay.
Yeah, the Carmen line is often confused by people. It is just an arbitrary height that Mr. Carmen. Oh yeah, he's gone. Mr. Carmen said, based on pressure above this, I don't think you could have lift-based flight. That's it. And he chose a nice round number because it was just kind of a guess, 100 kilometers. So there we go. Serena's one says, Brian isn't like a box of chocolate. You know what you're going to get, and it's going to be bitter.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bitter. The Sun Express says, Guest Flurf claims Earth sits still, stars move. Please explain how stars and entire galaxies move orders of magnitude faster than light. Also, he knows nothing about helium, let alone super cool helium, nor the go fast rocket. Yeah, my goodness. He thinks that in order to get to liquefy helium, you need to get a vacuum. Near vacuum. Wow.
That was some special ed stuff right there.
And, I mean, when you think about this, water boils at lower temperatures with higher elevation because the pressure is less. Liquids change to gas easier at lower temperatures with less effort, less work, with less pressure. It's the opposite. You need to maintain that pressure in order to keep the helium as a liquid. Let's see. Humphrey Pushcart, Dunning and Kruger are weeping. Their study lives semi-sentient, but alive. It's alive. Oh yeah, and he thought that it converts from helium-3 to something else when it stops being a superfluid, as he called it, but it's a liquid. Oh dear. Okay, Delcos man, why do you think the liquid in a propane what do you think the liquid in a propane tank is? This is the most basic stuff around. Come on. Yes, O'Brien's coming back.
Like I said at the beginning, it's hard to fathom. You got to explain a rainbow to a grown ass man. It baffles the mind.
All right, I'm gonna send. Let's see.
Poor guy.
Hey, I don't know if you could hear me, man. I'm sorry that I dropped,
we do now.
man.
Yeah, we got
he's
you now.
back. So Brian, have you figured out how rainbows work yet?
Don't get off track.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry for calling you a lying sack of shit earlier, man.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I think what he meant is he's sorry that you are one. I think definitely that's what he's saying.
No, I meant that I don't believe you unless you show me, but I still love you. That's what I meant.
All right. Delcos is wondering, asking Brian, what is the liquid in a propane tank?
That's funny you ask. I just dismantled a propane tank, and you could try and call that liquid, but it'd be kind of like a thick air, I guess. But if anybody wants to hear a cheap way of storing hydrogen, I've got a good little method.
Okay, how do you store hydrogen?
Okay, well, we use like muriatic acid in the concrete industry to clean concrete.
It's just
And it's
hydrochloric acid. Yep.
Yeah, it's hydrochloric. I mean, you can purify it, but you don't even need to. But just take scrap aluminum and take a propane tank off. It's probably better that you use a portable air tank. The valves come off pretty easily, and plus they're made for pressure. Excuse me again. I would say that the propane tank, I would about 150 pounds, but them air tanks, man, they're not even in the red at 200 pounds of 200 psi.
All
the
right,
pressure,
so
but you
yeah.
take, here it is. You take the valve off, you drop in the scrap aluminum, cans, foil, whatever, and then lean it all to one side, and then gently tilt the tank, and then put in the hydrochloric acid and put the valve back on, and that makes the hydrogen. You can fill it for balloons or whatever,
Okay.
torch, whatever.
Okay.
Why is it when I hear you talk, I always think of a redneck trying to explain how NASCAR works? It's like a lot of words, but none of it makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe you're better.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just playing with you, bro. I love it.
All right. Magellan, has the guest heard of the Epstein drive? It's also based on helium-3 superfluid, and it's being used by NASA for faster than light experiments.
Just used by, I sit here thinking of NASCAR, used by NASCAR. But no, man, I was thinking though, let's just be real for a second, okay? It takes temperatures of damn near absolute zero to get the superfluid, you know. And I'm not talking about a Einstein Higgs condensate. I'm not talking about like on a molecular level. They have done it in the lab. You can look it up on YouTube or go to my channel, Flat Earth Test, and see. God dang, I'm not sure that that's how they did it.
You get electrified
I'm not
again?
sure that's what's up there, but if it is up there, and you could picture like heat coming, like jumping off of a hot stove. I mean, that would be like how rockets would work. If it's that cold and you apply a little heat, it would jet your ass around. I mean, it's just a thought, man. It's possible, right?
Let's see.
Sure.
All right, so Jayacito says, state you can use higher pressure. All right, here. Let's see. All right, Jayacito. I'm behind a bit, but he's actually correct, Tune. I've worked with superfluid helium-3, and to get it to its superfluid B phase, typically you want low pressure, very low pressure. For its superfluid A state, you can use higher pressure. Superfluids are much different than normal liquid. All right. There you go.
Okay.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I don't know everything about it. I've never made it, being honest, but I know it's hard to make. But I've seen the people who made it. They
expensive
seem
to
very
make.
smart.
All
Yeah,
right.
expensive. You need
Robert
equipment, right?
Robert Williams says, what do you call an atom with 1 proton and 2 neutrons? What do you think?
Call it a hot day.
Hydrogen,
Is that tritium? I think. It's
which is
got
hydrogen, right?
it is an not an asymptote. Oh my gosh, yes, it is a variation. My goodness, why I'm not getting the right word? But yeah, it is essentially hydrogen because of 1 proton. And what do you call an atom with 2 protons and 1 neutron?
Anti-hydrogen.
Oof.
No, that would be a helium variant. So, all right. Batman says, hello, MC Toon. When I Googled electromagnetic wake, I get electromagnetic wake fields. Could this be what Nathan is talking about? No, it is not what Nathan is talking about. Nathan was just, I believe he was just repeating what he heard Bob Nodell say, which is just garbage. Electromagnetic wake is a thing in, there's a couple studies, but it's nothing at all what he's talking about. What, in order for an electromagnetic wake, as Bob Nodell and Nathan doesn't have a clue, but it suggests a medium like ether, and that something going through it would cause swirls behind it. Of course, how would that interact with a hurricane? Don't know. How would it not? It wouldn't work because also the sun on the flat Earth goes between the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. If that was responsible for the rotation, then of the hurricanes, the hurricane rotation wouldn't have a barrier around the equator. It would have a barrier around the current location of the sun. None of that matters. None of that work. It's all garbage. So
I would disagree with that. Hey, McToon, can I ask your chemist in the audience something real quick? And if he responds before I'm gone, I really appreciate it.
All right.
What pressure does aluminum stop reacting with hydrochloric acid, any given pressure. Just it doesn't have to be perfect, just an estimate. And also, what pressure does it stop reacting? And also, does it have to have oxygen
There you go.
or air?
Well, air is a generic term, but probably you do.
Brian, let me ask you, what do you think air is? Like, what's it made of?
What was that?
What's air made of?
I mean, I know what it's supposedly made out of, like 79% nitrogen, 19% oxygen, 2%, of the other gases. I mean,
Argon, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
no, let's make sure. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of first think air is just oxygen, so let's making sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quiddy says Mallory debates Punchy and Quiddy's on Saturday night on NASA Bunker 33. Loser has to eat Reaper squeezins on camera.
Oof.
Ooh. Does that means Mallory's going to be on camera? Awesome. And this is the final one from Stringer News 1. He says electromagnetic wake. That is what they have when an electric universe believer dies.
Oh.
Awake, yes.
That's called too soon, man. Too soon.
Too soon. Let's see. Charlie says, I believe that helium becomes a superfluid around 2 Kelvin. As the temperature of the universe is about 3 Kelvin, it seems essentially impossible there is any superfluid naturally in the universe. Yep.
I will say this real quick. That is pretty interesting that one rocket showed the temperature getting down that low instead of climbing up into the thermosphere temperatures they tell us. But was it a mistake or was it an error? Or what?
Heat and temperature are different. Learn about that. So Magellan says, has the guest heard of the simpleton particle? It's composed of 1 Cretan quark and 2 derps. You heard of that?
And a muon.
Yes. All right. And Rocky Bixby for 5 Canadians, his hair is 95% keratin. There you go. Brian, thank you for coming on. This has been enlightening.
Yeah, that was awesome, bro.
Entertaining.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate it on the spot, man. And like I said, never taking that personal, man. I love y'all, man. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, Brian. So we've got coming up in just a minute here, Chris Curtis. When I'm going to close down this stream, I'm going to open up a new one. We're going to start over. We're going to have a good time there. I think it'll be a good conversation. Chris seems pretty chill. So King Crew, thank you for joining. Anything else you want to say as we head out?
Just a big thanks for having me on again. And good luck on the next one.
All right. Thank you.
I look forward to it.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much to the super chatters and the members and patrons. I appreciate it very much. We'll see you in just a couple minutes. If somebody wants to drop that into the Glober Mom already did. Thank you.